Welcome to Kat&Kerri.
Kerri&Kat.
Thanks for joining us. Yep. Today is the day after election day, so everybody's chilling, waiting for the results of that. We're hoping, man.
Yeah, I've been avoiding the news altogether because I don't want the inbreeds. I don't want bad news.
Right, I don't want bad news because it was a shocker last time. Like, I just knew that wasn't gonna happen, so I voted, but I was like, I ain't gonna worry about it. But I've been avoiding the news with her because no, I'm not trying to. I don't want to argue with you. Mm-hmm. I don't want none of that. I don't want false hope. I don't want none of that. So yeah, I'm not trying to deal with that at all. So that's where we're at today. We're waiting for the results, and guess we'll be waiting.
Yeah. Probably know something by Friday, Saturday. Hopefully my weekend will be great.
Right.
That's all I can say. All I can hope for.
So today's topic, guys, is toxic relationships.
We're gonna get into just basically, like you said, toxic relationships.
Right. And I think sometimes we feel like since I'm too grown to have a toxic relationship. I normally think that toxic relationships are for somebody younger, like they 20 or, you know what I'm saying, something like that. But it turns out
toxicity exists at every level.
Right.
In every age group. It's not gender specific, nor is it race specific.
Right.
Toxicity is just that, toxicity.
Right. So we decided that we was just gonna do a little brief on like what does a toxic relationship look like, and then we was also gonna cover like, okay, what does toxic relationship looks like? What does a toxic relationship look like? And the fact that, you know, the free conversation will be the fact that, you know, sometimes I contribute to it. Y'all contribute to the toxic relationship. Like we always say, we look at it outwardly like somebody else, but inwardly, how do we contribute to the toxicity in our own relationships? Today, I just cannot speak. It's just not coming out. But yeah, we want to see how we contribute to the toxicity in our own relationships. So.
Yeah. Are we doing a story time, or we just gonna jump into it?
We do a story time. You got a story time?
All right.
Oh, he only had to say that one time.
What did you say?
One time for the one time. This comes from like. Listen, we've been in relationships.
You clap
before.
one more game.
I'm always clapping. I know she always telling me about my clap. I'm always clapping.
She thinks she a DJ, a rapper or something, and she got to get her point across.
Right, and slapping my leg. I'm gonna work on that today. Listen.
That's why I clapped. I was being a butt.
Oh, I didn't catch that. It went over my head. So look, we both been in relationships, right? And again, I haven't been one for a while now, but. We had
Me either. My last real relationship ended October 2011. That was my last relationship.
Right.
Now, I've been in situationships, and then this last little thing, I don't know.
We don't even know
how. There's no name for what that was. It wasn't a situationship. It wasn't a friendship. It was just something.
Right.
that was something. It was something. It was a waste of time.
That definitely can be considered that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing. When I looked at it on Facebook, from the post that you posted today or yesterday, I don't know when you posted.
Oh, from last year?
Yeah, when y'all had the pictures. That's I was gonna
comment.
Yeah, and was like, that's when I started feeding into y'all. That moment is when I started feeding into y'all.
Yeah, because in that particular, like that day, I was in love the whole day. I didn't see, like, we were on a bus trip. We were on this kickback with my girl. Shout out to Casey.
Right.
Who does bus trips. We were you know, it was me, my sisters.
Right.
Like, it was the
all
girls.
The girls. Right. Except for me, because I ain't go that one. But that's fine.
You had to work.
I did.
But we all went on this bus trip, kicked around St. Louis, enjoyed ourselves, and he went along with us.
Right.
And I was there with my girls, but I wasn't there with my girls. I was, like I said, that particular day, I was in love.
Right. And that was the
They
day.
didn't see nothing or nobody else.
Right. And that was the day. They had been dating for a while by then. But the whole time, I was like, wait a minute, this is not it, because Kat hated him. But we're going to move on. We're going to move on. So then, that day, they did look so in love. They looked so cute. And I was like, oh, okay, well, you know what, Kerri, get over it. She don't hate him.
One of us looked cute. One of us looked peculiar.
Like a squirrel, kind of. You know, just
possum in the face-ish type. Yeah, but anyway, that's why... Oh, I started to be petty. Right. That's why she didn't want you to shave that beard. Right. But that's neither here nor there. I'm sorry, y'all, we're getting off, because, like, now I seem like I could have possibly been the toxic one.
Right.
And that is so not the case.
Right. So,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, so toxic relationships, when you look at them on the internet, could look really good. I thought they were really good. I thought it was really good.
Yeah, but that's because in a situation, I look at relationships as, if I say that we're going to be, if I agree to be involved in a relationship with you,
right,
I make a commitment to that. So I was following through on my end of the bargain.
Right.
Keep it up. Okay, yeah, we're going, and I understand that relationships are not always bubbles and roses and all this fluffy stuff. There are challenges in relationships. Every relationship requires work.
Right.
But relationships are not supposed to be hard.
Right.
And it was two people who were used to being by themselves, even though I'm a sociable person. We were going through the bumps in the road as far as trying to learn how to coexist in a relationship. Now, I have had very successful and healthy relationships. I know what it takes to be in a relationship. He, on the other hand, has not been in one. My situation with him was 7 months.
Right.
That's the longest he's ever been in a relationship.
Right.
To me, that speaks volumes, and I should have, picked up on that.
Right.
But we were... Oh, goodness, I lost my train of thought. But as far as, like, you buying into it, yeah, it's like we're learning each other and all this other stuff, but at the same time, both of us weren't putting the same energy and effort into what we were doing.
Right.
One of us actually made a commitment. The other one was just buying time because they had gas on in their boy. But we ain't going to get into that. I'm sorry, the penny it oozes out of my pores.
So I guess we're gonna just talk about like how we contribute. I'll say let's talk about how we contribute. Like sometimes
I played my part, but
yeah, because I ain't gonna say getting ready to, but I am
ready
on the
to
road, to
engage
and right. So. Not a
something.
Right, yeah.
Definitely not a something.
Not a something, but not a relationship. I don't know what we're going to call it, but it ain't going to be a something. But I'm getting ready to, transition into that part of life. And so I had to take a look at myself. Okay, so how do I contribute to, what role do I play? What am I ready for? And like she said, I'm used to being by myself at this point. And then I'm 50% used to being by myself, but I'm still 50% used to being with somebody for 17 years of a particular way, and we dealt with each other in a particular way. But inside of that, we did have communication issues. We just worked through them, and that was because I was so comfortable with him that I trusted him to communicate my issues. Like if I had a problem by that time, by 17 years, if you don't trust them enough to express your express yourself or your needs or your wants, then there might be a problem. So at that point, I was comfortable enough with him to express that. But we, at the beginning of that wasn't what it was, and I was one for manipulation and trickery. I really was. I was one for.
I've always I always lay my cards out up front.
Right.
You know what you're getting from me, because it's like I look at life as, and I've always been of this mindset. Even when I was younger, I'm not about to play games. Oh, yeah. If you are on manipulation and playing games, like why waste somebody's time? Why have them invest into you if that's not what you're really about?
Okay, so yeah, I am into manipulation and playing games. I am into playing games. Let me start with playing games. Playing games to me is I'm going to do something and I want to see what you do. I'm going to do something to get
a reaction,
right? Yeah, to get a reaction, because I want to see how you. I think everybody was like, there's this new saying out there, just you got to see them in every season. Well, old people, I'm old. We already knew that. The only problem we have is I don't want to wait 20 years to see you, or I don't want to wait the 2 years necessary to see you in that season. So let me push this button and see where it goes. Now, have I learned? Yeah. But again, let me not say yeah. Have I recognized that there's probably some faults in that? Yes. Have I learned? Don't know. But if I invest my feelings, I want to know what your breaking point is and what your communication skills are. So I feel like it's like common conversation. Like if I say I'm finna go out with my friend, and that's my best friend as a boy. You know what I'm saying? I said, so that's my best boyfriend. I'm definitely testing you because I don't have a best boyfriend. I just want to see what you're gonna say. Now, if you come to me and say you got a best girlfriend and you finna go out, I'm finna flip the shit. Depending on how long we're going.
But see, I've always been of the mindset of talking or whatever, especially because to me, and that's the one thing I will say about the something. That was the first time I've ever embarked in a situation where he and I were not friends first.
Right.
Any relationship that I've been in, even like I did 17 years. I sound like I was in prison. I did 17 years with my kid's father, and he and I we were like oil and water. But it was more of a playful thing. He used to enjoy pissing me off just for my reaction because I've always been spicy, like Big Rick. But anyway, and it was one of the things where like every relationship I've been in, we were friends. So we already understood what boundaries, what certain boundaries were, what our do's and don'ts are expected out of us in a relationship.
Right.
Or whatever. And like I stated before, I am still friends with all of my exes. Except that's something, but technically I'm not even putting that on my resume.
That's
not even coming on my resume. I'm speaking about it, but that's something that you live and you learn. Right. Or whatever. And that was my fault for trying to teach a person who does not know how to receive love.
Right.
Trying to give him love.
Right.
Or whatever, because at that whole thing, it was...
Right. So for me, I have to say that might contribute to a toxic relationship. And I probably need to do better when it comes to that. But that is why I think it's best for me to take the time that I am taking. You know what I'm saying? Because to have a toxic relationship is not... To get into a toxic situation is not hard.
But you have to recognize when you're there.
Right, you're right. And you have to recognize whether or not you contribute into it. So, the conversation we was having upstairs earlier was, which triggered, it didn't kind of trigger, but it does kind of add to toxic relationships. Because she was talking about, like, as them being partners, you know what I'm saying? Two things actually comes out that story time. As them being partners one time, it had a bird. And
she called him like Jesus.
It had a bird, and she said, "Hey."
I expressed to him that I liked his beard.
Right.
There was a reason behind it, and all of my friends know why I like the beard. To take away from them features, but it's one of those things where if you're with somebody and they express that they really like a certain thing, that's like, if fellas, if you like your girl to wear a certain perfume, or ladies, your man color, or non-binary people, whatever it is from you, for whoever you're with, you express that you like something about them, and then they go drastically change it.
Right.
He chose to shave his beard, and I was like, damn, so forget how I feel, right?
Right.
And his response was, it's my beard.
Right.
Damn.
So
yeah. Go ahead, what
so
you gonna say?
a part of recognizing the toxic relationship is the lack of support. You know what I'm saying? So I think that fits under that. Like,
Well, I'm not gonna say it was support, but it was like, when you're with somebody, it you kind of compromise.
right.
And he was one of those people that was just non-compromising, and for the life of me, I didn't understand what that was about, because not to knock him, but when you're in the position that you're in, it's one of those things where, the old saying, beggars can't be choosers.
Right.
He was not in a position to be choosy. And again, I met him where he was at, and I accepted him for where he was at. But at the same time, it's like, if you like a certain thing about me, oh, well, I'm going to do that.
Right.
Because it's like, I want to please you in a sense. With him, there was nothing about being pleased.
So lack of I said that was lack of support.
Yeah, pray for me.
Right. I said that was lack of support because you have to support the relationship. And if I say I'm liking something, you know what I'm saying, that you're doing. Now, in all honesty, my husband hated my locks. He hated it. Okay, I ain't gonna put a deep hate, but he did dislike my locks. So, but I wasn't changing it because it was easy to do, it was easy breezy, whatever. But I did understand and recognize his feelings about that. So I would try to keep him twisted or pin him up in a way that was okay. And then he only disliked them a lot when they were shorter. But when they got a little longer, then he did
come around.
Right, come around. But during that time, I did try to do a lot of other things that I know that he likes, because I'm not changing this, but I'll change that. You know what I'm saying? Just to be compromising in a relationship, as you should be. So I figure if somebody is not supporting the relationship in that little minor thing, then when big things come along, how supportive are you going to be? You know what I'm saying?
Because in that something, there it's like, when I'm not going to sit here and say everything was all bad, because it wasn't. I will say that there were good times. I enjoyed the person, but I don't think that he and I ever should have embarked on trying to build something, especially considering the building blocks that are required for a stable or sturdy foundation were not there with him. And he didn't want to bend,
right,
and compromise or whatever, because I'm one of those people that I'm going to do what I am supposed to do, or I feel that I'm supposed to do in a relationship to make it work. And especially being single for so long, I was, I did a lot of work on me.
right.
So with that said, when I decided to get into that, I'm like, okay, I know I'm aware of the do's and don'ts. And so what I want from you is what I'm going to give you. Because I was one that would just gift just because. Like, we weren't even in a relationship a week. I still remember, like, hey, did you eat?
Right.
And he was like, no. Oh, what's your Cash App? And I just Cash Apped him some money for lunch. Because he was working that day or whatever. So I'm at work, you at work or whatever, but I'm finna look out for you. So I just ran him a Cash App.
Right. See, and to me, I think that sets a precedent for, I think, like men. Okay, let me find my words. Men are so very easily pumped up, right? You say hi to them, and sometimes some, I ain't gonna say all, but some you say hi to them and you love them. So they be going around telling their friends you love them. I have been a victim of that. So love when, where, how? I was just being nice. You know what I'm saying? When? So you know. So I'm very about certain things because first of all, I don't want to set a precedent that I'm not gonna keep. I don't set a standard that I'm not gonna keep on doing.
See, but I did that.
Right.
I did that throughout. You know what I'm saying? Just randomly is. You know what I'm saying? Just like the day that we went on that bus trip, I ordered us those hoodies.
Right.
Or whatever. Just is like, hey, what's your size? Right. I ordered us some King and Queen hoodies. A couple of weeks into the relationship, I had I got these bracelets. It was her king, his queen, gave him the bracelet. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, he eventually upgraded the bracelets. Right. And then he got us those necklaces. Or whatever, which to me they were cute and it meant a lot at the time. Right. But
right. So yeah, I think men are easily convinced that they the king for real, like for real, and then they feel like they ain't got to do much. But that's just my prejudice when it comes to men. I think like I feel like I have a bit of a prejudice when it comes to believing. I don't know, but yeah, I feel like yeah, I wouldn't buy you anything.
Yes, like I said, I remember ordering a wallet insert,
right,
or whatever,
and I wouldn't say I wouldn't buy you anything, but not in the beginning. I don't think in the beginning.
See, I'm not even one for wanting to receive gifts. Right. It just brings me joy to do something for somebody else. Just to put a smile on whoever I'm supposed to be with. But I do it for friends too.
Right. She does. But and that makes me think of this book that we've been trying to I've been trying to read for the second time, which is Love Languages. And understanding our love languages is something like, and managing our love language is also something, you know what I'm saying, that we probably have to address, because there's a way that I show love, but I don't want to give you the idea that you can take advantage of me, or you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. And so I have to manage my love language and who I'm showing my love language to, and how I'm communicating it, you know what I'm saying? Understanding that other person's love language, because
like I ordered that. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish.
Like I'm love language, that's it.
But see, and that's something else, because it's like where he and I kept bumping heads.
Right.
And I'm like, I'm used to being in relationships. I'm used to being in committed relationships. Like 2 years or better relationships. Right. He, on the other hand, like I said, this was maybe his third or fourth relationship total. And this is the longest he's ever been in. And like I said, it was only 7 months. Right. So you don't have a healthy track record. Right. Or whatever. And, you know, even when he would discuss his ex, and she was all kinds of bitches, and she was all kinds of toxic, and this, that, and the other.
And
but
that
should have been a red flag for me. Because it's like, I understand everybody has their perspective, right, or perception of a relationship. But she was all kinds of toxic, this, that, and the other. But then you want to go chase up behind her after the fact. Right. That makes sense, but that's neither here nor there. Right. But
that would go into toxic communication.
Okay, that one. That was ordered for him.
Yeah.
It was a lot of things that I ordered. I ordered that for him.
That would be toxic communication.
This was the insert that I was talking about. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the day, motherfucker still got the keychain that I got him, and probably still got the insert in his wallet.
Right. And when you find somebody that will talk about it says, when I say I love you more, I don't mean I love you more than you love me. I mean I love you more than the bad days ahead of us. I love you more than any fight we will ever have. I love you more than the distance between us. I love you more than any obstacle that tries to come between us. That's cute.
Yeah, but I was hella. See, I'm mushy.
Right.
I'm like a lot of people just see because I'm like real quick with it and I fire and I snap off and will say anything.
Right. We was talking about that upstairs.
They don't. It's like in order. Like people closest to me, and I think you're starting to see it, is that I'm real sensitive or whatever, and my brash kind of disposition is I'm not gonna say a defense mechanism, but it's like you have to get to know me to know the sensitivity level. Right. Or whatever, but like as far back to the toxicity of relationship, like I should have recognized. No. Let me go back. When you were talking about love languages,
right,
or whatever, we did the love language test, or whatever, and like mine, they were not compatible. But when I realized what his love language was, that made me let me communicate this. You know what I'm saying? Because one of his things was gifting, even though he didn't have a lot,
right,
anywhere, but I couldn't help it. He didn't have a lot, but it's like I just was willing to, accept where he was. So therefore, I would go ahead and you like gifts, okay? So I mean, it wouldn't be a lot, right? But just random, just little something, a card,
right,
or whatever. Because we have,
they was good at giving each other cards. I mean, looking at it, I swear to you, after that point, I would be like, and I mean, my whole world was like, I had them.
You had faith in them.
Right. I was like, yeah, this is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Just seeing the love on the Facebook, which is why I still look at the love on the Facebook, but I'm glad I'm not as close to the people that I'm looking at as I am to them. Because being that close, I'm like, damn.
But
talking bad about him my whole time.
Oh, baby, because trust me, even though people were happy for my happiness with him, they was still, oh, baby, it wasn't no throwing shade. They were throwing trees. Because at the end of the day, there was a lot, because to avoid conflict or whatever, which was something in itself, I was dealing with a extreme narcissist.
That's part of
he was an extreme narcissist or whatever, and it's like I think I kind of attract those type of people. I am far from narcissistic, however, I do recognize when I'm hypocritical. I will say that, but I recognize my hypocrisy in a lot of things that I do or whatever. But baby, they didn't care.
She had a set of friends that...
My sisters, I have family that will light you up like a
Christmas tree.
A 15-ball Roman candle. They have no filter.
No filter! Don't play.
You heard Red today.
Listen.
So, it was one of those things where, to avoid conflict, I would vent, and you're not supposed to put people in your relationships, and I get that, but there were issues that we were having,
right? And
when I would attempt to approach him about it, that was a fight.
Yeah,
that was a fight. So to avoid fighting with him, I would, ask objective questions, even to my brother, because he was my sounding board. Hey, what can I do because this is happening X, Y, and Z, and I don't want there to be a fight or whatever. There have been so many times where I've cried on the phone.
Right. And this would be the first time I would even know that Kat cried. Like this is how we got closer. And I've known her for years.
But it's like
crying was never part of the thing.
It would upset me to be at odds with the person I'm supposed to be trying to build something with, right, or whatever. And even in the situation with him moving in, I asked him to move into my house, and he kept on, "That's your house," and I'm like, "No, yeah, I had the house long before I met you, but when you moved in, now it's our home. I didn't look at it as this is mine versus this is yours. It was ours. Even when I was talking about wanting to do things in the backyard or whatever, baby, I'm asking permission. Like I need permission to do anything to what he coined my house. And it's like that, you know what I'm saying? It's, in a relationship, you're not supposed to look at things separately. I just, that's just not the cloth that I'm cut from.
Okay, because anybody that was her friend was like, we were still a friend. That is your house.
Yeah, but even
girl,
when
she said it, but she said it to a lot of people. We was all like, I can imagine everybody was like,
everybody. They didn't want me to put him out because of the things that he was not doing. As far as you weren't concerned about your partner's
well-being,
well, not happiness, because you have to, number one, be happy within yourself.
Right.
He wasn't worried about my joy, because you're supposed to add that to
the relationship.
A relationship, and that wasn't the case.
And he was totally ignoring your needs. You
know let us not get
but that we just go say
let us not get into that.
We just gonna say he was ignoring the needs, and I'm not gonna clap them.
Yeah, because there was no clapping of the.
And then when she was talking about talking to her friends about what was going on because she couldn't talk to him, that was walking on eggshells. Like, these are signs of a toxic relationship. Yep. I need to be able to talk to you. Now, with my husband, I had to learn when to bring something to him. Like, if we were right in the midst of it, I know I'm going to come to you out of pocket. And I know you're going to shut down and you're going to win this conversation in your mind automatically. So when I brought stuff to him in your mind, he didn't want a conversation, and I'm just going to have to let that go. So if you did something that I didn't like, I did not always address it in that moment. I would pull back. I would pull back. And then later on, I would casually bring it up. You know what I'm saying? So that we could have a conversation. Because if I come at him sideways and crooked, I know I'm not going to get that response from him. But the other thing is, Victor could not stand. Please don't discuss our business with other people. Like, grown-ass men, don't do that. My husband didn't even have a Facebook page. And I know grown-ass men right now that don't have a Facebook page. Anytime I talk to a man, right? I don't have a Facebook page. I expect that from you. I don't have a Facebook page. If you have a Facebook page,
because see, some of them, a lot of my male friends or whatever, who I feel that are stand-up guys,
right,
or whatever, it's a form of, they look at it like me. It's a form of entertainment. I got male Facebook, or I have friends on social media who are all about jokes,
right.
And it's still a way to keep in contact with people and things like that.
Yeah.
You high school, like, you know what I'm saying? It's entertainment. So I'm not going to sit there and take that away and just, just group
all of them in the same. And I shouldn't. But him or his brother did not have, but they were way older. They did not have Facebook pages. Like, I don't mess with Facebook. And I used to be trying, because I used to think, trust issues is a thing. And sometimes I have them, sometimes I don't know. But
what the hell? Okay.
But I will. I play stupid. I play a lot. I play stupider than I am, to a certain extent. So I pretend like I don't know how to work a computer. And I pretend like I don't know how to search you out. And I pretend like I don't know your code to your phone.
I think are guilty of that. And my thing is, when you're with somebody and you know them,
right.
When you truly care, you learn your partner.
Right.
So you learn their triggers, you learn their do's, their don'ts, their behavior, their moves,
right,
or whatever. You can, like, at the end of the day, people will coin it, their intuition. It could be, but it's like when you're in tune with somebody, or you can put your all into the situation.
Right.
So you recognize,
I know, right.
Right.
this ain't
This
right.
ain't right.
Right.
So
right.
you start to either try to address the issue, you try to find out what's going on, but the thing is, it can't always be about you trying to bend and conform to make your relationship work. It has to be two parties.
Right.
And I found in my situation, it's me, and I am, at the end of the day, not to take away